This was a real fun conversation. If there's any other speaker who's going to come, I'd recommend you to come and have a chill conversation with these guys. And if you're watching this video, you got to subscribe because these guys are just talking really nice stuff, which you can use as life skills. And there is no intention behind it. And if you can value, subscribe, like, and see these guys again. I want to look deep inside what's behind your thinking
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to this episode of Relaxed. And today on the Relaxed podcast, we have with us Karan Shah. Karan Shah is an educationist. He is a public speaker, TEDx speaker, and he's the founder and director of IID. IID, you might also know as Indian Institute of Digital Education. I'm actually a fellow student of IID, and I had a great time there. I'm still connected from my teacher there, and I'm just very thankful for IID to, give me that experience. So, Karan, I'd love to know, you created such a great organization which has been spreading digital education all over India. Thousands and thousands of students have studied. How do you feel about creating this whole, organization, this ecosystem of students? And please tell us about your story, please.
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's really cool to talk to two really nice, young, talented guys. And this team of 6, 7, I'm not sure how many people.
6 people.
6 uniquely talented people, cinematographer, editor, marketing, CEO, and I don't know. So this is really cool. Thank you so much. But it feels awesome to run something like IIDE. Honestly, now it's an institute by itself. And it does its own job of teaching people and educating people, and it's run by the people now, and it's for a cause.
You started your company in your grandfather's garage, and
right.
That's quite great. Like I think a lot of big companies, a lot of great ventures started from their garages, and that's just a cool thing to know that it's such a small place to start such a big organization which is going to affect so many lives. That's just overwhelming. I think it starts from who you are as an entrepreneur, and who you are as an entrepreneur is what we want to know. So who are you and what's your story?
Story is literally how I built IID. It's a funny story. It's an all luck by chance story. It is. I used to do a job at a call center, which was a financial broking company. I used to work for Edelweiss Financial Limited.
Yeah.
And I used to work in their call center where I was supposed to make like 200 phone calls a day.
Oh, wow.
I was 18 years old, and I wanted to do an internship and try something out. So I just got my hands on this, and literally, man, they used to force me to make so many phone calls, and the database was so poor, the numbers that I had to call up.
Did you actually call 200 to 400 people a day?
I mean,
that
I would
seems so difficult.
I would have
That's
160 for sure.
my God.
Like tiring, so tiring.
Yeah.
60, maybe 25, 30 would answer. So it was very disappointing because 100 calls would go non-answered, wrong number, unavailable, cut the phone on your face. You would only have like 20, 25, 30 conversations. The deal was I had to sell demat accounts out there. So just like how bank accounts you have, demat accounts as
Stocks, yeah.
for 2 months. My company sent me a termination letter, like a warning letter, which says that, you're not able to bring in any sales and your stipend is more than what you're bringing into the organization. So we give you 1 month's chance. If you don't make it, you're out. And that pissed me off. So what I did was I just went to my college classroom, and I'm 18 years old, man. So that's a decade ago now, more than a decade ago. So I go to my college classroom, NMIMS, which is right next door to where you study. And I ask all my friends, hey guys, how many of y'all want to learn stock markets? The branch manager of Edelweiss would teach you guys. And in 2 days, you will know how to learn, like, how to do stock markets. Literally all the dudes raised their hands and they were like, sign up for a stock market workshop. And on a weekend, we would get everybody to come to the office. We used to train them over a weekend, stock markets, and they used to pay us fees as well. So what started off that time, in 4 months, I had 481 kids, students, my friends, doing the stock market course in just 4 months, and each of them paying me a grand. So that was like 4.8 lakhs 10.5 years
My
ago.
God.
The best part was everybody who did a stock market course with us, they actually ended up opening a demat account with us. So
Oh,
from being warned to resign from the company, I suddenly became the pan India salesman of the quarter. Demat account.
Wow.
Because all my friends, all my students who were doing the course with me started opening demat accounts with Edelweiss.
you kind of you Uno reversed the company. They were like, "You're out." You're like, "No."
Can you imagine, like, I have trophies and my name printed and my photo comes in the monthly mailers, and
Wow.
it was so, and dude, the company had 1,000 telecallers. So imagine I'm an 18-year-old who's competing with 1,000 people, and everybody else is making telecalls, and I'm doing the same while doing stock market workshops. That's how I realized that, the education industry is interesting. People want to spend time and learn something new, which is practical, which is useful, which is easy to consume, which is fun. And that's how I got introduced to the education space, man. Uh, so it's basically like, you asked me, who am I as an entrepreneur? I think I started out with first I started out with, let's do anything and everything to use my time productively. Let's do internships. Let's do whatever comes my way. Then I think I just started looking at opportunities. Like, I started finding an opportunity in the stock market process, and then I really started liking education as an industry. So, so I joined a company after that. I joined a company called Connect, which is one of Asia's largest digital marketing companies.
Yeah, it's a very big company.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's run by my sister. My sister's the
Oh,
CEO, is the owner. So I was your first salesman.
so that's a family of entrepreneurs then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
say that. Yeah. So my
yeah,
sister runs and I run ID.
that's great.
So
That's a very impactful family.
I have a question for you when it comes to this. What were some difficulties you faced? And like, if you have something to say to yourself back then, what would that be to encourage yourself or to anybody who's probably walking in the same path as you?
difficulties actually came when I started to do it like a proper business. When I started to run like a training institute. Um, no students would take us that seriously, because you are a 21-year-old trying to teach other 20-year-olds as an institute. No colleges would take us seriously, because they would be like, who are you? There are teachers who are seasoned in our college teaching since so many years. No principals would even give us a chance to do a workshop, because they would look at my face and they'd be like, you're just 21, like, get out of, go do something else. So education in our country is generally resembled by people older, people of a much higher age, especially higher education. I'm not talking about maybe primary. Your teachers still look younger, but it's represented by people who look like much older, people who've done like a certain number of degrees,
A
PhD.
PhD?
Yeah, right. A PhD or like an MPhil or like couple of degrees, and that's when you become an educator. So people wouldn't take me seriously as an educator, but I knew that what I was learning outside at different places, I knew that I had this skill in me to package my information very correctly and pass it on to people quicker. It was a lot of years of effort to get people to recognize, realize that, yeah, these guys talk some real education.
I I really want to know one thing from you after you said this. What is the value of speed for you today in content and in your business? The speed of delivery to the consumer, or the speed at which you are trying to maybe catch trends. Um, what is your take on that, and how do you think it has affected your business? Have you tried to touch on that?
So honestly speaking, as a CEO of any organization, every CEO needs to be thinking of innovation continuously.
Yep.
Because if there is no innovation, you will perish. Okay, so my main job at IID is continuously change. Let's take for an example, coronavirus happened. We were a popularly offline school, and suddenly we're forced to go online. and there was so much resistance from the entire organization. The size of the organization, I mean, there was a lot of resistance. But if you don't, like today, just for example, every other, I would not like to say this, but in all honesty, all other schools which could not move online shut down. You know,
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
second,
that's true.
yeah. So we managed to make that move. We managed to make that curve. We managed to change with the changing trends. And in fact, we feel that COVID is genuinely a blessing for us. We have now recognized our skills for doing online training. We have recognized how comfortable we are, in fact, with online training. We have recognized the scale for it. So you snooze, you lose. And that's the value of speed.
So, speaking about online education and also educators being seen as people who are old, what are your thoughts on India's education in the future? Like, how do you think it's going to progress? Because I think nowadays there's a lot of people who are quite young, but they are developing so many things that they're actually quite experienced in whatever they're doing. So, what do
Yeah,
you feel about India's education in the future when it comes to online studies or educators being seen as old people?
that's actually very true because I think IIT was one of the only times I saw someone who was like under 30 teaching me.
The future of education, the reality of it is in majority of India, in all parts of India, it's going to stay very similar. Okay, because for
Yeah.
those, the only thing is that access has really improved. Because of COVID, we're by next year we're going to be 82 crore online Indians.
Oh
So
my
out of a
God.
population of 130 crores, which I'm expecting by next year, we're going to be 82 crore online Indians. That's two-thirds of our population. So with that number in my mind and looking at the speed at which we're converting from 3G, 4G to now 5G coming up, if you really ask me, in the next 5 years, a lot of education is going to be online. First of all, what that allows is that allows less number of teachers, which is quality teachers, which you can now hunt and find, and it's going to have lots of access. I also think that education is really going to change because a new hybrid model will come by, in which, if you listen to the owner of Khan Academy,
Yes.
Khan, Amir Khan, these guys, not the Bollywood actors, but
I know, yes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love Khan Academy. The platform is just so robust, and the kind of content they've put out there. Um, I was thinking of taking my SATs, and when I just went there and had a look on the kind of variety of content they have, if you're a kid and you want schooling, so much content for free.
exactly,
Like, can you imagine? It's like having tons of tuition teachers on your phone for nothing.
exactly. Saying the future of online education is, if you hear what Khan Academy of education, if you hear what Khan Academy owner speaks, he says, uh, all my lectures are for free because that's instructional content. you know but if you like, I just think that all instructional content will be videos and will be free.
Yeah,
But if you really want to come to class and solve it with me live, is when you're actually enrolling for a class.
exactly.
Anyone can learn anything, and if so, everything is available. You choose what you want to learn, and it's going to be online, and then you enroll for a class where you go and meet a professor who does it practically with you, who solves an assignment on you.
Exactly.
So I think it's for the better, and we're going to move in that direction for sure.
I think when I saw online classes and when I did a digital marketing course from a website called Simply Learn.
Hmm.
Um, it was a nice course. I learned a lot, but what I realized was they are giving you content which you can find online anywhere. The value, the real value, is those live classes where that teacher who's an experienced digital marketer shows you how to use them, shows you how to implement them. Like, I know how to make a LinkedIn ad, but how do I remarket it? How do I target it? How do I use it to go to my exact audience? Is what a teacher will teach you. And yeah, I think that role was very important for me to see that. And I think a lot of teachers, um, a lot of students want that from their teachers, especially being in like HSC college in my 11th, 12th. I saw a lot of lack of Oh, here's a book, study it, you'll get good percentage.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. I know
And
so many students who can do single entry system, but
also, like, I feel that, when it comes to age, sometimes when somebody who's older than you is teaching to you, that time there's a generation gap, and sometimes
yeah,
those words are not conveyed properly. So when you have
relatability.
when you
Yeah,
have a younger teacher, somebody who's like young, they are close to your age and they are able to give better examples
Yeah.
as compared to the modern times. So it encourages understanding.
yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely true. Very true. And I mean, that's what gets us. That's what's probably made us popular. All our teachers are young. We make relatable content. We'll make memes in our class, and we'll act like all the new
Yeah.
Netflix talk about them. We'll talk about dark memes, and only if we create like
Because
some relation with our students is when you can become friends with them and then guide them.
exactly.
You just have to
yes.
tell them, hey, figure your own way out, but this is your expected outcome. Now figure how you want to do it.
It's about how can I top myself next.
Exactly. That is the main fight at all day. Like that's the culture we try to breathe through.
We as a channel can relate with that. Our first video ever is still the best video we've ever created on this channel. Our
Okay.
first video ever has 35 to 36,000 views. It gains around 1,000 views every week without doing anything.
Wow. Nice. Very interesting.
And yeah, it's just growing. It's growing, and we're trying to top it. And I think I relate to that. And thinking about challenges and culture, I want to ask you: you started a startup and you made it successful. Today, as a teenager, today as a 18-year-old or anything, if I would think of starting a startup, what would be the points you would tell me that I think I should know before starting a startup, which should maybe potentially be successful?
So I think that a the first thing that you need is you need to figure out, like, I think a startup is a combination of three things. And as an 18-year-old, if you're able to identify the three things that I'm going to tell you now, is good. Otherwise, you got to work to finding those three things. So I think a startup is a circle of three things put together. It's a Venn diagram in my
Yeah.
mind. And one circle is what you're good at. One circle is what you love doing. And the third circle is what somebody will pay you for. And the intersection of these three circles is a startup for you. Um, Otherwise, you're just like an opportunistic person trying to do something, trying to make a quick buck on the side. So if you genuinely want to start up, like for me, what I was good at was maybe business. What I loved was public speaking, and that's a part that's what grew at IIT. And what I realized somebody could pay us for was actual digital skills, because digital India came in, internet came in, and digital skills was on a total high. So if you figure these three things out, I think you're ready for a startup. And if you haven't figured these three things out, then the only way to figure it is by doing something continuously. Like for example, dude, at all time long when I was in college, my older brother is really successful, financially, and he is an MBA in finance,
Okay.
which is why I, as a grad student, also took up finance in my graduation, in my specialization as a
Yeah,
subject,
yeah.
and then I took up an investment banking internship.
How'd that work for you?
I hated it. So I hated it, right? And that's when I realized that I am so not a person who can sit behind a desk and like just, crunch numbers or, just look at documents and give like suggestions or look at compliances. I realized that I need to be on the front end. I need to be talking to people. I need to be doing marketing. I need to be making conversation. So as I'm saying, if you don't know these three things, these three circles, the only way to figure them out is by continuously doing something. And by doing something, what will happen is you'll realize all the things you don't like and
Yeah.
be able to figure out the one or two things you genuinely like. Because when your startup is a combination of what you like, what you're good at, and what someone pays you for, you're in for the long run. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Like, I completely relate with you when it comes to this because for me, initially I wanted to pursue science. Like, Arjun knows how badly I wanted to pursue
She was a
science,
full
but then,
scholar in, like, full
yeah,
science scholar in school. But then I think
Yeah,
11, 12th. Yeah, continue.
like then because my dad was working in Korea and his friends were scientists, I saw them and I realized how difficult it is, and that the fact that they have to just sit behind a desk 24/7 doing the experiment, and like the experiment can fail, it can like go well, and that experiment probably takes like 3 days or something. So if it fails, you got to redo it. And I was just looking at them, and I'm wondering, do I really want to do this? Like, I also realized that I would rather be out there speaking with people, rather be out there, just anything but sitting behind a desk and just like staying
Exactly.
there for like all my time. So yes, I completely relate to you on that one.
Nice.
Um,
Exactly.
I'll add a weird thing to it. The exact analogy that you used, the Venn diagram, I used that 2 weeks ago on a podcast. The exact same analogy.
Okay.
We did a podcast with Inglo Global, and I used the exact same analogy. That's just a weird coincidence. So,
It's
yeah,
it's called the hedgehog principle.
I didn't know that, but I used the same analogy, like not the Venn diagram, but the three pointers.
Okay, nice. So in theory, someone's actually written it down as a theory, by the way, and it's
Okay,
anyone who's watching this can Google it. It's called the hedgehog principle.
okay, I'll Google it for sure.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, for you, I really want to ask this: is how do you think a 12th pass or a graduate today should cope up with, or what they should know about dealing with the situation today all over the world? Like,
Um.
yeah, I know you can't guide them or anything. I'm just saying, if you were in their shoes, if you would like, oh, I just passed my college,
Mhm.
and this might just be the worst time to pass out of college, but what would your take be on it if you were in their shoes, maybe?
So a couple of things.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it would be very important to first of all, I would totally understand where a 12th standard person comes from, because when I passed from 12th standard, I think I was lost, you
Hmm.
know, and I was forced to make a decision of which course I want to go. BBA, BMS, BCom, BFM, BAM, BBI, and to be honest, I don't think I knew what any of these stood for. Nor did I know what goes in any of these. I'm just citing an example. But I just know that the one important thing about graduating after 12th is the place you go to. It's not about even the course you do. Like, for example, today, all my friends till date are the friends I made back in my graduation days, you know? And because I managed to luckily somehow get a circle of friends who are extremely progressive, all entrepreneurial, we discuss very progressive things every day. I think that my life beyond work is extremely fun. So
Yeah.
all people graduating from 12th standard, it doesn't matter if you figured your career. This is the age to have fun. This is the age to make friends. So have fun in your limits, and really explore everything that you can come by, everything that comes in front of you, literally everything, to know what everything is. And but also ensure that you remember that you are the average of the five people you hang out with, you know so that's an extremely important thought. So you need to remember who are the five people you're hanging out with, because you need to remember that they need to somehow, they might be all really like chill today, but their attitude needs to be that tomorrow we're going to be progressive. When the time is right, when we actually have to get to the field, we're ready.
That's very true.
So I think that's
Yeah.
that's people require at that age.
Yukta, do you want to go ahead with the question, or should I go ahead with it?
Um, we can go ahead with any fun questions or anything
Okay.
you want to go ahead with. Like I will come up whatever comes in my mind. So if you have something right now, just ask.
Okay. I'd love to know this, just like a fun element in it. Could you share an embarrassing memory of yours? Like, think of an embarrassing memory, a memory which you're like, okay, because I'm telling you, this is a weird podcast, I know. But yeah, how would you think? An embarrassing memory. Something which you thought, it can be in your business, it can be anything. Like, what do you think?
An embarrassing memory.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like a fun memory, but
Yeah, fun, embarrassing memory. It can be a fun memory. It can be an embarrassing memory,
this is
whatever you want.
story. I mean, it was fun. Whatever, I don't
Yeah.
know. So one class, I was really like in the mood to teach, and I sat like I generally stand, I walk and teach,
Hmm.
but like I wanted to get a hold of all my students, so I sat on the bench of the first student,
Okay.
bench, and I split my legs, and I was like, "Yeah, come on, guys, how we gonna
Huh.
do it?" Dude, I had a slit in my pants, and
Oh,
because I was wearing boxers, but
oh,
it's a really
that's
funny story, and
that.
like, and some fun, and it was one of my first or second batches, and I'm like real good friends with all of them. Like we're friends.
Yeah.
But it's a story that still goes down. It's just a fun one.
That's a great experience to share with the students. um, I mean, like that's a hell of a icebreaker.
It,
After that, yeah.
it was chill. So yeah,
um, uh, that happen to me on the first day of my classes. Sinhal's naam ka ek tuition hai. Not that we came inside the class and the teacher came and sat, and he was like quite healthy. So he
okay.
came and sat on the plastic chair, and the plastic chair just broke in half like this. Both
Ooh,
the legs went like this, and he fell on the ground.
ooh, shit.
Nobody
That's so
said
sad.
anything. But I think after that, there was just no coming back, right? There was just no. Everybody was just so chill with Sir after that. They're like, okay.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
still, I appreciate the fact that your classmates did not make fun of him. Like I don't have an experience with somebody else, but I have a personal experience. I was dancing with my friend and we were wearing the dance costume, right? The pants were a bit tight. So when I went to do the split in the sea, it just like
Oh shit,
and the
bro.
worst part is we were recording the actual video for YouTube at that moment.
ooh,
Oh,
So I'm so glad that that thing did not come while taking the video. Like the
that
angle which
hits.
we were taking the video in, it did not show my pants like
That hit
tearing, but I
all
could
the
clearly
check
hear them.
marks.
I could
My God.
hear them tearing. It was so bad.
everybody's had a pant slip once in their life, like a proper one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
for
must
sure.
have.
It's a
If you
must.
haven't, if you haven't, go buy a small size pant and
Yeah,
just do something to make sure you have one.
yeah, I
That's a
swear.
must have memory.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I have a question.
okay,
So
go ahead.
currently we are in a pandemic.
Okay.
Let's just assume that like in a few months the world is going to end and the government
Okay,
has money. So what do you do with that money now the world is ending? You cannot stop it or anything.
what's the
So if
okay?
they
Hmm.
use that money to fund your tickets to anywhere you would like to travel to, like everyone on the like in the country, what is one place you would like to travel to before the world ends?
Big build up. Okay, world's about to end.
I am an enthusiast. I would love to travel everywhere in the world. My next on my destination is all of South America.
Okay. Oh,
Ooh,
that's a
Yeah, I just did Central America last year. Uh,
oh.
so
wow.
Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Jamaica. Now next year I want to do like Brazil. I want to do all the countries in South America put together. But like because it actually offers a lot of variety. At the south end there is the South Pole, so there's only ice and stuff like that. Middle, where Argentina and Brazil is, there is the forest.
Hmm.
Somewhere in Argentina there is a desert. Okay, so like there are all different types of tropical lands available in one continent, right around each other, just a few flights. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, so that's something that I really want to do right now. I want to see all different types of
I
land.
can't. Yeah, I can imagine. I think you. I think that will be a similar trait between you and me. Is that before the lockdown started, I was so used to being outside my house the whole day. I don't think I saw my parents 7 a.m. to maybe 8 p.m., 9 p.m. I didn't see them. Right. I left for college. Not even 7 a.m. I left at like 5:45.
Okay,
Yeah. So I think same with you. You might be working all day. So
man.
how is it, man? Just coping up with it the first 2 months.
I think the first 2 months were like really hard. Like, going to my building's terrace was like to breathe air.
Ah.
Uh, we all live in Mumbai. We all have box houses, man. We're
That's
all
so true.
Yeah, yeah.
in format and not a bungalow. Like,
Hmm.
but like just going out to breathe air. The first day I remember I went out to get some meds. That was essentials.
Yeah.
I took out my car and I'm driving and I'm like, I don't even use social media that much, though I teach a lot of social media. But I literally pull out my phone and I put like, some Rocky Balboa music trying to make
Yeah.
a story saying, hey, I'm driving,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it was tough. It was extremely tough.
Hmm.
But I think over time I've gotten really used to it
Hmm.
and adapted to this, and that's what humans do. And I've
Yeah.
thoroughly adapted, man. And I enjoy because I think I
Yeah.
so much more just continuously sit in my Zoom room is my cabin where people walk in, walk out, walk in, walk out, walk in, walk out. So it
This
works.
is yeah. This is same. Like this is like the upper floor of my house, and this is just my area now. There's one desk, one chair, and this is my laptop, and that's all I do all day. I'm
Yeah,
just sitting in this chair, and just doing my stuff, and it's fun, man.
Like
that's
compared to you two, I have not experienced the lockdown phase because we do not
At
have a
all.
lockdown in Korea at all.
okay.
I go out all the time. But interestingly, during the initial 2 months when I was not going out because there was like 1,000 cases a day over here, during that time I learned that initially I was just like Arjun, but later I just became a homebody, and
Yeah.
everyone I've spoken to, they were just like, oh dude, we are just like so happy being at home now. We don't really want to go out all the time. Like it's much more fun to be at home than just going out all the time. So I'm just like, oh,
I
yeah, I
can't
get you
ever.
guys.
Can okay, yeah, Karan. What do you think about that?
Like I think like I've actually managed to catch up with so many more friends on video calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This Instagram feature. So Instagram is a video calling feature.
Yeah.
And all my friends, all my dudes, and all my college friends, we all meet on Instagram video call. So it's like a tap, and then two people can talk,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
then
Yes. Yes.
joins, and anyone can quit. So like we're just a bunch of you boys who will talk like for like 1 hour a night, and like everyone's just having fun, like just cracking jokes on each other, like what boys do. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've caught up with my friends way more, and we all live in different parts of the country. But
Hmm.
because Corona and everyone's in, we're video calling and we're actually having more fun. Like at least we're laughing.
I just understood this that people are getting so they're trying to have fun with everything. We did a Zoom live for the whole Sangeet and the whole marriage.
Uh-huh.
The marriage was still like 1 2 a.m. आप तो जानते हो जितने भी all the weddings that I've been to, all the last सात फेराज and everything go till late, बहुत late हो जाता है. 1 a.m. they had 90 viewers watching it live on YouTube. I was sleeping somewhere in the corner, and they were actually, and I was just so astonished that all of our dadis and
Yep.
friends and boys, yeah, all of them were watching. So it's the fact that they were so happy that they were able to be a part of it. Maybe they weren't able to come down to Mumbai, but they were there. They were listening to every single word,
Dude,
and
t-
yeah.
talk, talking on this, I just want to tell you all something. So something really cool happened at my house. Okay, and just
Oh, okay.
from your grandmother's experience or from like
Hmm.
your relatives' experience. My grandfather, guys,
Hmm.
he's blind or he has
Oh,
extremely less vision. Okay, like
okay. Yeah.
absolutely invisible. But what's really cool is that he used to like he's into religion. Okay,
Yeah.
we're by religion, and he's a lot into religion. And the older he's getting immersed
Which
into religion.
religion may I ask?
Jainism.
Okay. That's great.
Okay. So my grandfather, all the Jain professors, there are these monks who preach Jainism,
Yes, 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 yes.
all of time.
All of them? Sorry,
Okay.
can you repeat that?
All of them started teaching online
Yeah. Oh,
because of
oh.
all Jain professors, all the monks who
Yeah.
preach, who they started teaching online, and all we
Oh,
do is we
wow.
read books. Okay. And because of that, grandfather on a daily basis now averages 2.5 3 Zoom call, okay, where
Hmm.
he's listening. So the Jain monk is preaching,
Yeah.
So the Jain monk is preaching and my grandfather is listening. So, I'm just so happy that he's 85, 86, and he's able to now do something productive, which he likes from home, which he couldn't have because we couldn't send him anywhere offline because of his,
Exactly.
uh, yeah. So,
No, that's just so cool. I am doing this course, which a lot of my friends say is very weird that I'm doing. It's risk management.
okay.
Okay, a lot of people tell me I'm more of a creative guy who is into filmmaking. I am developing some games. I am
I
working in
don't believe
business.
that at all.
Yeah, and yeah,
I
people
think
tell, yeah, because it's a
I
sit down job, and people are like, "How are you doing it?" But it is just so fun for me to complete the whole course almost. Now, December the course ends, and I've completed that with ease over the couple of months, which I know maybe would have been like I would have thought about it कि यार कितना टाइम लगेगा अगर फिजिकली होता मेरे को यहाँ ट्रैवल करना पड़ता ये करना पड़ता आज I get up, I switch on my laptop, I attend the lecture, and I'm out in an hour, in 2 hours a day, which is
Like,
nothing for me. And
way more,
exactly,
right?
yeah, that's like that. मेरे को आज मिठी बाई विले पाले पहुंचने में 2 घंटा लगता है ना, 2 घंटा लगता है मेरे को ट्रेन से. अब उस 2 घंटे में मैंने आज एक कोर्स कर लिया इतने महीनों में.
Absolutely.
एग्जैक्टली एंड दैट्स जस्ट आई थिंक द पीपल हु स्टिल थिंक कि जब कोरोना खत्म होगा ना तब बहुत मजा आएगा. आई एम
Yeah.
जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर दैट. इफ यू आर थिंकिंग दैट you're
Cool.
falling down, yeah, you're a fool. You're going downwards. Don't
Exactly.
think about when it's going to end. I think it's more about
What you can
right
do.
now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Arjun, from what you spoke, I found a very interesting thing about you that you calculated your 2 hours of travel time against the costs.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool thing that you said for someone as young as you to be able to think of the hours spent, because what is management? Management is the art of having, let's say, 10 employees and
Yeah.
calling that you're able to get 8 hours per day from all of them. So you're actually able to produce 80 hours of work in an 8 hour day,
Exactly.
right?
So yes.
You start calculating hours against rewards is when you're truly thinking smart, street smart. So
Exactly. Street smart.
what you said right now is the genuine reality. People need to think of, boss, I have so much time, in fact, right now.
Exactly.
Rather invest it correctly for things which are now available to me. So
Yeah. अब मतलब जैसे for example, I see this so many times. People say मेरे पास बहुत काम है करने को. What I do regularly is I get up, I write down the tasks I have to do in the day, and I make sure I complete those tasks as soon as possible in the day. And then I have all the day to do whatever I want.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
exactly, so it's you don't have to work 8 hours a day if you know exactly what you need to achieve in that amount of time. You can save time and you can do your work better because you're not procrastinating 95% of the time.
I sometimes prefer, like, I think it's productive to sleep, you know.
Yeah, actually, that's very true.
yes,
It's productive
yes,
to sleep because the next 8 hours that you will give, you'll kill it. So you
Yeah,
exactly.
calculate and frame your body clock correctly, and you do it. Like, it's not like you have to work 8 hours. I finished my work in 4 hours. Let me sleep 4 more hours.
exactly.
The next 8 hours, I'll kill it.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of
Exactly.
seeing Netflix or sleeping the whole time because I,
Yeah.
I know I need that much time. I'm done with my work
Like,
now, and yeah,
interestingly, for me, this has been my mindset since like 10th grade. I realized this in 10th grade. Like, I'd rather sleep in my free time than do something else. Like, okay, yes, my recreational activities, I do them religiously. But if it's like completely free time where I don't want to do anything, I'd rather sleep than watch something on the phone because that though that 1 hour or 2 hours of sleep
this
gives you so much energy. It helps you go on for the rest of the day. It
yes.
really does. I still do it. It's a habit now.
Do we really need to come to work every day after lockdown?
Hmm.
This is what we're discussing in office. Like previously at IID, we used to, sorry, I'm moving away from mental peace, but I'm
No
just
problem. Please go ahead.
like, for example, like people are now asking, like the top management, we recently met at IID and we were like, we're allowed to get our staff back to office. How do we want to actually do it? And we've realized, dude, really, do we want to get everyone back to office? I think so.
You can just have it
Exactly.
half offline, half online. That would be fun.
Because like every human being has enough things to do on a weekend or has enough jobs other than work to complete. So we're like, you know what? Let's ensure that before this, we used to even have Saturdays working. So we
Hmm.
used to work like 6 days a week. Okay, like
I
crazy.
guess
No,
you've
that's
realized during
yeah,
online classes or in this entire period, everyone has realized that maybe you don't need to have offline activities as much as you actually think you do.
exactly.
Because the
Optimum
scope of
use of
doing it
resources.
online, yeah, exactly. You have the technology, you just need to now implement it because work from home is gonna have a whole new level of advancement after this entire thing gets over.
Dude, what should I do at home? What do you think? What's happening with you? Or what's happening with your life? Because the whole day I'm sitting at home, looking at a wall, looking at my phone, thinking about my life. So what's going on in your life? So Yukta, what questions do you have for Karan?
Oh, I have
Yeah.
a question. So, what's the one thing you will never do?
Okay. I think that's a very variety wala question. But
Yeah,
let's see.
so
Like, okay. Um
you can put your own influence on it. Like, you can answer
yeah.
it the way you want to. What's the
Illegal
one thing
things
you will never
aside.
do?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think we
Like
should do everything.
what will I never do? I think I will never think of traveling back in time. I will never do that. Even if I had the chance, I will never travel back in time. I just don't want to.
I
Even
think
if I have
I
the
will
choice.
not travel in fourth in time also. I don't want to know the
Back,
future. I
forth,
want to decide
anything.
my
I
own
just don't
future.
want to. I don't think I would ever travel in time, even if I had the choice.
Yeah.
I will never do such a complex question. I mean, bound. I think of what I would do.
My dad's been seeing dark the whole time, so I have time travel in my head. What can I say?
So, guys, I am a very yes person. I'll do everything. What I
Okay.
would do is I wouldn't break some ethics in life and some boundaries
Yeah.
in that. It's a very diplo answer, but to be honest,
Yeah.
Mm.
that's what makes me who I am, and that's what people know me as work at. That I know what goes around comes around.
That's
Uh,
so true.
Yeah.
yeah, so I just think that ethics are some things that you can't break. Otherwise, you can do everything in life, and I love trying new things. So I might may get a little nervous in the start, but eventually you'll see me try eating anything, like doing anything. Screw that.
What is the most interesting yet amazing compliment you've ever received
Okay.
in your
That's a
life till
that's a
now?
good
Like,
question.
yeah.
Someone told me that I
And
should lead the country and I should be the prime minister of the country. So
Jesus. Sorry, Mr. Modi ji.
it's Modi ji that complimented me on my orator skills,
Oh, that's it.
on my public speaking skills, and thought that I could speak well and I could hold an audience of a large size together in my palm. So, so someone said at least the underlying story was be able to use your oratorship at a larger scale than just a school.
What would you do if you were the prime minister? If you were the prime minister for
Yeah.
for a month, 1 day is too short. Maybe what was the one decision
Yeah,
or the
one day
couple
is
of
too short.
decisions you would do for
I
sure?
would rip apart the education game and change the entire way education works in our country for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, rip.
Especially the
That
amount
would
of
be really a
money
really
and
good
the way
move.
it's put.
Yeah, I would rip it apart, and I know that I run a school, so I know the nuances of a school. I know the
Yeah.
small thing nitty-gritty is required.
That would be such a good thing, though.
That's the one major problem that I want to solve.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm
Yes.
through my own school, but in the future,
Mm.
I want to solve education problems for a lot more people in the organization. It's one of my big goals in the
How
future.
many students has IID had?
I don't know, man. Loads online. We've got more than 60,000 students who've
Oh my
purchased
god.
from across the
And
country.
also, like,
60,000 students. Can you imagine?
Of our small courses,
Bapre.
which were
that's
like,
still a lot.
yeah,
That's a lot.
for
And like
this,
imagining education in India, I still feel that it tends to incline more towards rote learning than actually understanding concepts and
Major part of it. Hmm.
experiencing them in life and applying them to life. So I think yes, modifications in the education system would definitely help our
yeah,
country.
goal.
I think during the independence, or even before the independence, during the British era, we kind of forgot um, upping our government or our like a government education, like the education institutes which are free all over the world, like our जो free government institutes होते हैं. आज अगर आप पढ़ने जा रहे हो तो गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट माइट बी द वर्स्ट स्कूलिंग यू वुड थिंक ऑफ गोइंग अहेड, राइट? Everybody wants to go private. I think if you were the Prime Minister of India, what do you think about government education of in
I think
India?
that would not be free at all. I
Hmm?
think government education would be in exchange of community service, which every student needs to put in.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I really think,
Yes.
I don't think that coming to school 8 hours a day makes sense.
That's so true.
Yes.
I think you get your content via video, you come 3 hours to school, you do your stuff, and you spend the remaining 5 hours in community service. You learn everything. You learn how to build your own table, you paint your own classroom every year, you learn your own road, you learn to cook, you learn to run, you learn to fight, you learn karate, you learn at least minimum one self-defense skill. If I had to change things in education, I would absolutely ban the concept of going to college for 8 hours a day. It's stupid. You go 2, 3 hours a
So
day.
true.
Everybody in college needs to go to college from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They need to do an internship at least after they're in their higher education because
I
real
just saw
is
I
there.
just saw a reflection of my mom in in you because she believes that self defense should be a part of our education system, which is
Exactly.
Yeah.
why she made me go choose
Both of us
kung
did
fu as
martial
my
arts.
and martial arts as my extracurricular activity.
Yeah.
She believes that. So when
Wow.
you said that, I was just like, Mom. But
My
I
God.
agree with
Yeah.
you completely. Self defense, just seeing what is happening in our country is not only necessary for females, it's necessary for everybody.
Everybody.
You should know how to defend yourself in situations which are difficult.
About you, I really want to ask this one thing is that what made you think you like to go ahead with the podcast format of content and come on this podcast? Like, कुछ तो सोचा होगा before coming here कि अच्छा हाँ, this might be a good opportunity. Why?
Because honestly, I saw you in this one video with this one lady. Uh,
Yeah.
y'all seem to be at home somewhere. It seemed like a home setup. And there was
Yeah. Radhika Mukherjee. Yeah.
I can't recollect because you and me spoke like some few weeks back, and
Yeah.
so I can't recollect what I saw. But it was a really cool setup. I liked how chilled it was. I like it was a very casual conversation. I probably went through the first 10 minutes. I'm being very honest,
Hmm.
but it was very chilled. I got a very nice vibe, and honestly, I didn't look at your subscribers or your views, or I have no idea about any of
Hmm.
these things. I did ask for it, but I don't think I went through it. I just saw the vibe. I liked how comfortable the look was, the feel was, and it felt like an honest conversation. And somehow it just vibed with me, and I said, okay, this guy seems chill. He seems young. He's doing something which is cool. Podcasting might pick up. The vibe is clean. Let's do it. So
That's great.
to you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No,
Yeah.
but I'm just so grateful all over this channel. You see, when you start doing something, people somehow from somewhere. I saw your story. You did a podcast with someone, and you just put a story about that. If you're interested to do a podcast with me, just hit me up. And I was like, I'm gonna try. Even if he doesn't reply, I'm gonna try. What do I have to lose, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was 3 months back, I think, maybe three.
Yeah, that around 2 months back. Around 2 months back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I see a lot of similarities between like you and me and the thought process that we have, and I hope we,
I have another question.
yeah, shoot.
So, like, okay, I will shoot. So, um,
Hmm.
my question is that if you have to put yourself in our shoes, like me and Arjun right now, and what would you ask yourself that we have not asked you yet?
Yeah,
And how would you answer it?
of course.
Man, you provoke my thoughts. Like you put me in a spot
Full, yeah.
tight.
Yukta like takes that like large
Yeah.
spotlight and she just puts it on you. Like you'll ask yourself a question, answer it on your own, and it should be good.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just have a lot of questions because initially when Arjun was like, okay, we are doing a podcast with
Yeah.
this person, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna find out and I'm just gonna think what questions can I just ask. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna shoot.
So I think maybe a few questions could be related to my other experiences. Like apart from running a school, I'm also a digital marketer, and how that could genuinely benefit people who are 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years of age, and how they can probably catch up to that skill and utilize that, and be aware about things that are happening around them, and be aware of like how you can make your own pocket money sitting at home,
That's so true. Yeah.
because that's my other skill set apart from running apart from talking about education. My second skill set is digital marketing. So maybe some questions on that, and I would love to answer. How when you're 15 or 16, also today, you know how to use a laptop really well. You can build a website for yourself. You can build a website for your father, or your mother, or someone you know in your business, or someone around you. You can promote it on social media because you understand social media as a 16-year-old way better than what your parents who are business understand
So
it.
true.
There are opportunities, and you can take those opportunities. So that's my question and my answer for you, Yukta.
Yeah.
That's a great. Yeah. Like I tried this a no cost store. I tried this online. I created a whole store on Teespring, if you've heard of it.
Okay.
Teespring is a basically a print on demand. There's something called print on demand online. So
Okay.
basically, you go ahead, you create the T-shirt, and once someone buys it, that's when they'll print it and send it to them.
Right.
No cost on your side. So I created a store, made couple of sales at home, just marketing it, and I just realized the ease at which a 18 or a 16 or a 17-year-old can make money or just do their thing online. It's
Exactly.
just like today I don't have a DSLR camera. I don't have something like, even if I didn't have this mic, even if it was my laptop mic or
It would
normal earphone, yeah, it would work.
it would totally work. So that's what I'm saying. 16, 17-year-olds can do so much today because they're so much more into digital from a younger age that they can, people say degrees or skills over degrees. I'd say skills start at 16, skills start at 14, skills start at a
Exactly.
younger age today. And everybody, if you are ambitious, you can do it. If you actually want to achieve it, you can achieve it. So
That's so true. That's extremely true. And like, I just think it's about knowing your niche and it's about knowing what you want to do, which is also very difficult to know today for a lot of people. Um, but yeah, I think this has been a very fun podcast, and we're really grateful to have you here. And I hope you had a fun time too.
it was a chill
And
conversation, guys. This was
yeah, and yeah, so thank you so much for being here. And yeah, so any last points on your side?
nothing, guys. I think this was a real fun conversation. If there's any other speaker who's gonna come, I'd recommend you to come and have a chill conversation with these guys. And if you're watching this video, you gotta subscribe because these guys are just talking really nice stuff which you can use as life skills, and there is no intention behind it. And if you can
Yep.
value, subscribe, like, and see these guys again.